One of our biggest pitfalls is that we are our own worst enemy. We get in our head and we tell ourselves we can't do something. And that's the wrong way to go about life, especially when you don't truly know what you are capable of until you try it and stay consistent with it. One of the most common questions that I get and I see on the internet is, am I too old to start martial arts? And the answer is no, you're not too old to start martial arts. Now, when it comes to being a pro fighter, then certainly you want to be at an age that you can compete. Combat sports is a young man's sport, but we often see in UFC that there are older champions. But definitely, you want to be younger if you're competing at a high level like that. Nonetheless, you can still learn martial arts regardless of your age and still be at an elite level. Now, elite for me means having a high degree of skill and understanding for that particular martial art you choose to study. Meaning you should be able to understand and replicate most of the movesets, not just throwing punches or kicks just to throw them. Understanding the purpose behind them. If you do forms, understanding all of the forms. If you just do grappling, knowing the ins and outs of getting out of a particular position. Quite simply, being elite is just being like Ultra Instinct Goku for whatever fighting style that you choose to learn. For me personally, I started learning martial arts at the tender age of 20, what many martial artists would consider late. I've been training for approximately 8 to 12 years or so, and I say approximate because it hasn't been 8 to 12 years of consistent practice. I also picked up other hobbies along the way, such as calisthenics and bodybuilding. So certainly my time hasn't been fully dedicated to martial arts. But as of the last 2 or 3 years, I've been pretty consistent. I also fought and competed in several different tournaments involving point and consecutive sparring. Now, I did lose one in the process where I came up in second, but nonetheless, I stopped competing because I thought I was just too old. Originally, I wanted to become a pro boxer, but I'm not marketable at 28, 29 years old to become a professional boxer. So of course, I gave up that dream and I just focused on sharpening up my martial arts skills. Now, the first question you need to ask yourself is, why do I want to train martial arts? Because learning martial arts isn't an easy path. It takes time, dedication, patience. You're not gonna learn overnight. Martial arts is a process of continuous growth. So you have to be honest with yourself. Is this something that you really want to learn? Do you have passion for martial arts? Many people like the idea of training martial arts, but when that first punch comes to your face or that first kick, or you might get body slammed so hard, now it takes more courage to actually get up and bounce back versus taking that type of punishment and quitting. And some martial art styles are a bit more brutal than others. And if you're crazy like me, you might enjoy the thrill of striking. You don't really mind taking punches to the face or giving punches right back to your opponent. You enjoy that thrill. You might like grappling. Let's say you don't mind tossing somebody to the ground, or you don't mind getting tossed to the ground. Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you have so many styles that you can choose from. Keep this in mind. If you're older, let's say 40 plus, and you want to learn striking, but you're not trying to take punches to the head, you can still learn a striking art. It doesn't mean you have to actually spar all of the time. Although I highly recommend for you to spar, you don't have to spar crazy. Keep it relatively light, maybe once a week, 2 or 3 times a month. When you spar, you get to know who you are and how you respond to stressful situations, especially when it's a strike coming towards your face. I know many people have this conception that if you box, you're gonna get CTE, and that's not necessarily the case. If you're striking intensely every single week, then yeah, over the period of time, more than likely, you're gonna be diagnosed with CTE. But if you're sparring lightly, let's say a couple times a month, then you don't really have to worry about that. Just make sure you choose your sparring partners wisely. Either way, you shouldn't be worrying about sparring anyway. Right now, you have to focus on building a solid foundation. A good coach is gonna let you know when it's time to spar. Don't let anybody pressure you into sparring, because strike-based fighting styles can be really, really dangerous. Now let's talk about how can you get started. You can get started right away just by simply turning on YouTube. That's why you're here now. Instagram, TikTok, all these different avenues you can use to start learning martial arts. There are plenty of good martial art instructors all over the internet that can help build you a solid foundation. And certainly, that's what I did to really sharpen up my martial arts skills. Work the fundamentals over and over again. Your basic punches, kicks, elbows, knees, whatever you want to learn on the internet, it is there. Certainly having somebody that can watch and observe you is going to help you tremendously. But pretty much everyone these days have access to some type of phone. So all you really have to do is simply start recording yourself and send it to somebody that you know, to a martial arts influencer, and maybe they'll get back to you. If you decide to send it to me, I will give you my personal feedback and offer you guys advice. You shouldn't have to train alone. There are plenty of resources that you can utilize. Another common question that comes up in relation to, am I too old to start martial arts is, how do I know which martial art style is best for me? Now, I answered that in a video earlier this year where I talked about, depending on your physical attributes, some martial art styles might be more advantageous for you. For instance, striking. If you have long arms, certainly you're gonna be able to control the distance more. If you have shorter arms and you're a shorter individual, you might wanna try out grappling. But quite honestly, it really doesn't matter what style that you choose. All that matters is, what are you passionate about? You can't get caught up in, well, I can't do this particular martial arts because I'm not tall enough, or I don't have long arms, or I'm naturally a slender person, so I wouldn't do well in grappling. All of this is gonna boil down to passion. If you have passion for anything in life, you know more than likely you're gonna stay consistent because your heart is in it. So keep that in mind. Now, a personal recommendation I do have for you guys before beginning martial arts is having a solid foundation of fitness does greatly help you. So some solid characteristics of fitness that you should have: strength, durability, flexibility, mobility, power. Let's say you don't have a solid foundation of fitness, you're not in the best of shape, then you can use martial arts to help train that. You can't take yourself out of contention because you might not have what another person has. Being successful in anything requires passion, consistency, and patience. That's why I say it's never too late to start learning martial arts. It doesn't matter what age that you are. All that matters is you show up, you learn, and you do your best. Enjoy the journey, guys, because this journey goes relatively quickly. Even to this day, I'm still learning. I'm constantly trying to evolve myself. The moral of the story is this: don't let anybody tell you it's too late to start in martial arts. If you listen to those people, then of course you're gonna be a bum just like them, because I've seen a lot of people just get deterred from doing things that they really want to do, all because someone told them they're too old or they're not capable. You gotta block that stuff out and do what's best for you. You can learn martial arts at 25, 35, 45, 85. As long as you're capable, you have that passion for something, and you train safely and effectively, you're gonna be successful. You don't have to be the next John Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Be the best version of yourself. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop wishing you was in somebody's position, and do what it takes now. All right, if you enjoyed today's video, guys, make sure you smash that like button. Most importantly, make sure you are properly subscribed. I'll see you guys next video. Peace and love as always, and I shade. Boom, we out, baby.
Perfect.